Hi guys, Charlie Wall here, and it's been a couple of weeks since I came in with a question of the week because we had Easter and it was my birthday. So I had the week off, which was fantastic. But this week I have had a question from someone called Hanna Bauer, who said she doesn't mind being named. And her question, let me just make sure I'm all turned up properly. Her question is around grief and an anniversary. She says, I know that a traumatic experience can trigger unease around the anniversary of it. How to deal with it? How do I deal with it? She asks, especially as I haven't seen it coming. I literally just realised that this has been happening around my youngest's birthday every year. Anger towards my husband, especially as I perceived him to be incredibly unsupportive at the time. So, Hannah, thank you so much for asking the question, and I'm sorry to hear that you lost a baby. I think that's what you mean, especially as this has been happening around my youngest's birthday. Anger towards my husband. There's no other information. Yeah, I think that's what it is. So yes, you lost a baby, and yeah, I'm really sorry about that. I mean, that is incredibly, incredibly traumatic, and I don't know if you've got any help at the time or any grief counselling or anything like that, Hannah. But what we have a tendency to do as humans often is, and this is really innocent, and I did this for years and years, and this was part of my PTSD, was that I relived the trauma of my brother's accident, and I did it very frequently after his death, and then for years I did it around the anniversary. I did that for years and years and years and years and years. So what we have a tendency to do is re-traumatize ourselves, and this is really innocent. We don't know we're doing it. What was the question? You want to know how to deal with the trigger of the trauma. I think the other thing, Hannah, is just noticing that around the anniversary you might start to feel more, you might start to experience more memories, you might start to experience what the baby might be like now. You'll have lots and lots and lots of thoughts, and what you have to try and remember, Hannah, because I know you've done my freedom program, my 8-week freedom program, is that we create a lot of movies innocently. We're using the gift of thought to create movies, and we can do that by remembering the past. So this is what I did when I would go into my flashbacks, and that was part of my PTSD, was that I was looking into the past and I was recreating the trauma of my brother's accident, and that would be the movie that was playing out, and I would feel that in this moment. So I would activate my stress response and go into fear and panic and loss and pain. But all I was doing was recreating the past, carrying a thought through time, which is a memory, thought carried through time, and then experiencing it in this moment right now. Now I know now that I don't have to do that. When that thought comes in, I know that I don't have to follow that thought train. I don't have to jump on it, and I don't have to give it life and breathe life into it. I didn't know that for 20 odd years. I just went with it, and they're called flashbacks. That's what PTSD, one of the symptoms of PTSD. Now, I would encourage you to, Hannah, re-watch the modules in the Freedom Program, but also around the anniversary, have compassion for yourself. remember your child, remember you went through something traumatic, but that you are still okay inside. And then you're saying here that you feel anger towards your husband. Well, that's what we feel, anger. So we might feel an emotion like anger, and then we'll look outside of us and we'll go, oh, it's because of, in this situation, what you're doing is you're again remembering the past, remembering how you feel, and then projecting that onto your husband, saying it's because of you. I feel angry because you weren't supportive enough. And I think partly it's having compassion and kindness for yourself. And I think the other part of this is if you feel anger, knowing deep down that that's coming from your thinking angry thoughts about your husband rather than it being your husband that's causing the anger. You're innocently replaying something which was incredibly traumatic for the both of you, I would imagine, and feeling anger. And rather than allowing it just to move through, as that's what all emotion does, energy in motion, emotion, rather than allowing it just to move through, you're getting caught up in your thinking, and you're getting caught up in your anger, and you're getting caught up in your grief. And of course, when we get caught up in it and we feel it, like it's walking through sludge, we don't know that actually it's okay to feel all of it. It's okay to feel angry and sad and pissed off and lost. It's okay to feel all that stuff. You don't have to fight it. You don't have to be frightened of it. And then it will just move through and you will settle down. So it's like at the moment you're just muddying up the water in a puddle, and all you actually have to do is stop muddying it up and it will just settle. You will be able to settle. You will be able to experience the memories of your daughter and the memories of your baby and the memories of the experience, and see it with kindness, see you both, you and your husband, with compassion for your loss. It's a huge thing what you went through. It's huge to lose a child of any age. It's huge to have a traumatic grief experience. I know this. I know that you know that I know this. And of course, if you're experiencing this around the birthday, that makes sense. But just know that it's coming from your thinking about an experience and replaying memories innocently, and then feeling sad and feeling down and feeling angry, and then looking outside and thinking it's coming from your husband. Hannah, thank you for sharing that with us, allowing me to name you, because I think grief is something that we're all going to experience. Not so much traumatic grief, but certainly grief is something we will all experience. And I didn't know that you'd lost a child, and I'm really, really sorry that this happened to you. And I hope that helps. I hope that you find some settling in my answer, and please take care of yourself. And yeah, if you feel you can share on the group what you heard in this, and I'll send you this answer. But you've got more strength than you know. And the question I always ask myself in this type of situation now is, what would love have me do? How can I treat myself kindly? How can I treat the people around me kindly? And each of us is going to have our own unique experience of the grief, even if we've lost. Say, like in my situation, me and my mum and my sister, me and my sister lost a brother. My mum lost her son. Me and my sister also lost our father that we knew. But each of us has a unique experience of that grief, of that trauma, and we each react differently. We have unique ways of seeing the world. So you and your husband will have a unique experience, and when I ask the question, what would love have me do? It will be about me trying to understand how they see the world. Because if I feel anger, it's and I feel anger towards someone else, it's a bit like that old saying, you might as well drink poison on yourself, because the anger's just going to have an inflammatory effect on you and your soul. So yeah, kindness, love, compassion, understanding, and remember your daughter, and allow yourself to feel the pain of that, because that sounds extraordinarily traumatic. Anyway, Hannah, thank you so much, and I will I'll talk to you very soon. All right, lots of love.